Here we go again with Momentus, ticker symbol MNTS. Since I published yesterday's video, MNTS is up roughly 45% versus the prior close. So if you had invested and watched my video yesterday, you might have made some money. But let's move on. If you've been watching social sentiment at all, you can see how quickly attention has picked up. MNTS has also been trending on Stocktwits, and retail traders are actually engaging with the stock, discussing how float dynamics, short squeeze potential, and whether this rally still has room to run. But as always, before we let the hype run the show, let's slow down and talk through why this stock is moving, what's actually driving sentiment, and where things could go realistically from here. The catalyst that sparked the move. The latest surge didn't come out of nowhere. Momentus recently announced that it has developed a 3D printed fuel tank in collaboration with Velo 3D, and that this tank is scheduled for flight testing aboard the Vigoride 7 mission. And whether you're a long-term believer or a short-term trader, words like flight testing matter. They signal progress, they create a narrative, and in a market environment where retail traders are desperate for the next momentum story, that's often enough to light the fuse. This headline immediately repositioned Momentus, at least in the minds of retail traders, as a speculative play tied to the expanding space and defense ecosystem. That's the spark. But the reason MNTS isn't just drifting higher, the reason it's moving so aggressively comes down to structure. Momentus has an extremely small public float, with some estimates placing it around 1.3 to 1.4 million shares. That's tiny. And when you combine a float that small with a sudden surge of volume and attention, price discovery gets distorted. The stock doesn't move smoothly. It can gap, spike, and move through price levels quickly because there simply aren't enough shares available to absorb demand. This is exactly the kind of setup that attracts momentum traders, scalpers, and retail traders hunting for asymmetric upside. Naturally, the next layer of discussion centers on the short squeeze theory. Retail traders are pointing to short interest data and borrower availability, arguing that shorts could face pressure if buying demand remains elevated. Here is the more grounded reality. Recent data suggests that after adjusting for the recent 1-for-17.85 reverse split, shares sold short, okay, try saying that 5 times. Shares sold short are roughly around 100,000 shares or high single-digit percentages of the float, depending on the snapshot. Some sources may display the pre-split number, which looks much larger until you adjust it. That alone doesn't guarantee a historic short squeeze. However, on a stock with float this small, even modest short positioning can amplify moves, especially when borrower availability tightens and volatility spikes. In other words, this isn't necessarily a classic short squeeze setup, but it is a setup where price can move very quickly if sentiment remains elevated. The warrant vote and dilution debate. Now, here is where the story gets complicated and where sentiment becomes much more divided. Momentus recently announced a $5 million private placement which included a sale of new shares and warrants with a $5.40 exercise price, subject to shareholder approval. The company also proposed amendments to certain existing warrants, reducing their exercise price, again pending shareholder approval. This is why you're seeing retail traders aggressively discussing how to vote. From a trader's perspective, dilution is the enemy of a squeeze. Any mechanism that increases the share count weakens the low float narrative that's driving this rally in the first place. From the company's perspective, this is about capital and survival. And that tension between traders chasing momentum and a company trying to secure financing is now a central part of the MNTS story. Okay, so here's what traders should be watching next. If you're following this stock closely, there are a few things that matter more than almost anything else right now. First, volume. As long as volume stays elevated, momentum remains alive. Second, borrower availability and cost. Tight borrower conditions can exaggerate both upside and downside moves. Third, any updates related to the shareholder vote or warrant structure because sentiment can flip instantly based on perceived dilution risk. And finally, progress updates tied to the Vigoride 7 mission because that's the narrative catalyst anchoring this entire move. How this typically ends. Setups like this usually resolve in one of 3 ways. 1. The rally continues, volume stays strong, dips get bought, and price stair steps higher. 2. The rug pull. Liquidity evaporates, spreads widen, and a single red candle erases days of gains. 3. The slow fade. Momentum traders lose interest, volume dries up, and the stock drifts lower over time. Which outcome we get depends almost entirely on liquidity and sentiment, and both can change without warning in micro float stocks. So yes, Momentus is moving sharply, retail sentiment is elevated, and the low float squeeze narrative is front and center. But just remember, stocks like this don't move because fundamentals suddenly changed overnight. They move because attention, liquidity, and emotion collide. As always, I'd love to hear what you think. Are you trading the momentum, betting on a squeeze, or staying out because this chart looks like a heart monitor? Thanks for watching. I'm Lincoln with bullacademy.org. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.